Okay. Here we go. Here we go again. Hope everybody's having a great night. I'm doing a late night tonight. I was just doing a live and I started thinking about something. So I am back. Much respect to everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and both of my Facebook accounts. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. We got Georgia in the building. Rep your city, rep your city. Who's still awake? I'm telling you. We got Shreveport in the building doing big things down there. That's going to be a boom in town. Property value is going to go up. I know you're very excited. Your property value is going to go through the roof in the next 5 to 10 years. We got Oakland, California in the building. And I got a very interesting conversation. Yeah, we're doing the Insomniacs tonight. Shout out to all my mods, all my wrenches. I got a very interesting conversation because I've been having people telling me that I'm trying to act like a YN, which that's very weird. So when I got through with the last live, I started to psychoanalyze that. I said, I got to analyze this. Where is this coming from? And I got the answer. I finally figured out why some people are saying that. I finally figured it out. I know why they're saying it, and we're going to get to it. I figured it out. I figured it out because it's been said to me a few times. I just, I didn't know what. I didn't know. I didn't have any clue what. I didn't have a clue in the world. I was like, what the hell? What? But then I live in Chicago, so you got to understand living in Chicago and saying, why am I trying to act like a YN? Is the most ridiculous. Because in Chicago, the only way you would be able to pull that off is maybe to have a young son that's got a bunch of his friends at the house all the time. Because I'm not sure how I would find out how a YN acts. Because I don't know how YN acts. I do get to see, uh, like Batman from the West Side. I get to see their videos a little bit, but not enough to emulate them. And on my Instagram, I'm following Batman, but he's always telling jokes and stuff. I'm not watching him enough to emulate him. The rappers don't talk much on there. The rappers don't talk much. So I don't know how I would emulate them. They're mostly posting their videos or pictures. So my mind was really spinning. I was trying to figure out where is this coming from. So I'm going to break down the whole process on why Why would somebody say that? Because I should know why they saying it. You understand? I'm a real person, and I should say, I should be able to say, this is why you're saying that. I'm intelligent enough that if I'm doing that in any kind of way, I'm intelligent enough to be able to point out, okay, I know why you're saying this because of this. Now, I have no clue. I do now. I figured it out. But I'm talking about originally, I didn't know what the hell people were talking about because I'm getting it from both sides. So it's like, wait a minute. Because I get it from the other side. They say, why don't I cut my beard? This is not YN for sure. Then if I wanted to look younger, I would definitely dye this. That's what y'all think. If I wanted to act more younger, wouldn't I dye this? Like, can I pull off the YN with the... I'm like, if I am, hey, Space Time, I'm like, if I am trying to do a YN impersonation, I suck at it. I'm the worst. I got to be the worst YN impersonator ever. I am doing a horrible job. For sure. Like, I would fire me if I hired me to act like a YN. I would, I would fire me. Would you hire me? Am I a good YN? I don't think I would hire me. But I guess I don't know what the hell people be talking about. It's funny. It's funny. I can't wait to talk to my daughter this week. I'm gonna tell her. They say I act like a YN, boy, she gonna be crying. Boy, is she gonna be crying. When I went to see Dirk with her and her sister, those kids, it was like going to another planet. Okay, those young people, it was a whole nother planet. I don't know nothing what was going on with them. I was just there watching them have a good time, but act like them, whoa. The PJ got to be about a sixth, seventh grade. So, like, in about 3 years from now, people would be saying, I'm trying to act like my grandson, which I don't even know how my grandson act, because you know how they are. They act one way at school, and then they get around you, and, they just be Y, no N, don't they? So we're going to get into all of that. It's crazy. So it started intriguing me. So that's why I'm back live, because, I went and I put the psychology in. I said, now I got to figure this out. What am I doing? Because I don't even have my word game up. My word game, hey, man, if I'm going to act like a YN, I'm at the least 10 to 15 words behind. Like, it's 15 more words I know at least I need to be using. Because they move fast. So they ain't even saying on phone now. I guarantee you they ain't saying on phone now. They saying something else. They ain't saying on everything I love. They ain't saying on bro them. I guarantee you they got something else. But I ain't been around them. I don't know what the hell they said. But if I wanted to act like a YN, I would have to watch them because they change vocabulary every 6 to 9 months. You're gonna have to step your word game up. They don't keep them words long. If you're gonna be a real fake YN, if I'm gonna be a real fake YN, I would have to go outside. I ain't been around nobody. I haven't been around nobody, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then SG Batman, right? Uh, it would do it a little bit, but that would only be the west side, and the west side and the south side don't talk exactly the same. So I'm not from the west side, so his slang wouldn't work. Because I'm from the south side. His slang wouldn't work because I would have to change my whole way I talk. If I took the south side slang, I could just add it with the way I talk. I can't do a west side YN. I mean, I could, but that would be like for an acting job. That would take, what, 9 months? That would take 9 months and an acting coach. I would have somebody from the west side. And it would take me 9 months, seriously. If you wanted me to play even uh, an adult from the west side that's in the streets, it would take me, if I had to get it done and I had to coach, maybe 4 weeks I could pull it off. But if it was up to me, I would at least rehearse 6 months before it's time to shoot. Because it's a lot to these dialects. It's a lot like African tribes. You just can't do these dialects. So I'm going to break all this down, but I did find out something very interesting about me that would make people look at me different. I've got it. I figured it out. I'm definitely, I know why some people are saying it. They can't put their finger on it, but I'm not acting like I'm supposed to. That's a fact. I figured it out. I get it. I know why. And they don't know what it is, so they say YN, but it's not YN. But there is something about me that is making certain older blacks not relate to me. I figured it out. I figured it out. So this is going to be a great one here for sure. So first thing, I'm going to go back through how I was looking. I got off my live and I said, why they say I'm YN? I'm not shaving my hair. Right? And you know, Lalita, I'm not trying to change nothing, so it's a little weird. They got me all in the middle, Lolita. They over here saying, you need to shave this, you need to dye your hair. You know, you're supposed to look younger. So if I want to look younger, let's start there. This ain't going to get it. This not going to get it. I'm going to have to go get that twisted, okay? It's going to have to get twisted, and it's going to have to get some coloring, okay? This going to have to get some coloring. This going to have to that down if I'm going to be younger. This is not gonna get it. They're gonna have to dye my eyebrows. Everything gonna have to. Okay, this ain't gonna get it. Like I'm not getting no job nowhere where I'm supposed to be younger, looking like this. It's just not gonna happen. Okay, it's got to be a lot of stuff got to be done. So I'm getting it on both sides because I got people over here saying you need to shave that. So they saying I look too old. Then I got weirdos saying I'm trying to act like a YN, which I think if you say I'm trying to act like a YN, I don't know where you're from. You couldn't be talking about a Chicago YN because a YN is not a young person in Chicago. A YN is a YN in, okay, jail and all that. So I don't know. Maybe the internet is making up a bunch of different YNs. But in Chicago, YNs is shooters and all that. So I'm not a good YN over here because these people that be getting on my nerves at these trolls, I'm not YNing. YNs would be threatening them people. YNs would be looking for your location, like for real. Like, what? I guess. I don't know. I'm like, YN, bro. I guess. I wish, I guess. I don't know. I'm confused. I be outside. But I don't be around the YMs, but I see them. To me, around them is like sitting around them. But I go around them, the YNs. Why the YNs don't think I'm trying to be a YN? Why they keep calling me Pops? You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of confused because when I go to the liquor stores and stuff to go in there and get something, when I go in any of the stores and I gotta pass a liquor store because you don't even gotta go in the liquor store. All you gotta do is gotta go to the cleaners in the liquor store right there, and they're out there. Why they keep calling me Pops? Why they don't know I'm trying to be like them? Do you know, Lolita, why the YNs don't respect me as a bootleg YN? They need to respect me as a bootleg YN. Everybody stop saying, why y'all don't tell these people I'm a bootleg YN? So they stop calling me Pops. Because they call me Pops when they see me outside. I'm confused. And when I go to areas where I know people, they call me Pharaoh, or they call me Solid, or they call me Foe. What up, Foe? What up? Or Big Foe, something like that. And I'm respect the elders. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's like the internet. So the internet's a little weird. Chicago, is a little different. The shorties are a little bit different because all of the high-ranking members are older than me. So they don't have that. In Chicago, they don't have that they don't do, as far as on the streets, they don't do old, they do rank, and age means rank. So if you're a GD and you 60 some 70, oh no, you high rank, you got, Chicago, people from Chicago mostly come from Mississippi and Alabama. So here in Chicago, everybody associates you with a whole bunch of family. So they'll never look at you as just you. They look at you as a part of a family. So in Chicago, they look at me like I got a whole bunch of nephews and nieces, right? They don't look at you because of family. We don't look at nobody as disconnected. everybody is connected. So we don't really, in Chicago, we don't really judge people individually. And the only way you could get judged individually is to start beefing. And now if you start beefing and stuff, then like, get your old ass out of here. But just a typical situation, you're connected to family. So it's like it's like when I went to LA and I was out there, they didn't have that. It was a little different. But here, you're considered an extension of somebody's family. So they don't really judge you separately like that unless you get into the beef. And we get into beef, they be like, shut your old ass up. That's when I'll start getting personal. But other than that, uh, it'd be dangerous. Like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to play with pretty much anybody in Chicago, especially the older they get. So you're looking at the YNs as reckless, right? And might shoot you or anything. Then when you look at 28, 30-year olds, dangerous, ain't as wild as the young ones, but they with the business. And then when you look at the 40 years, the 45 to 50-year-old, you're looking at here in Chicago, you're looking at seasoned vets, highly plugged and respected, extremely dangerous, done been YNs, done been the other ones, and all of them might have been in the penitentiary. So in a city like this, it's a little different. So if a young person see you and you talk real proper like a business person, they're gonna look at you like that. But if you kind of talk like me, they're gonna automatically assume you've been outside, you with the bull, like that. They're gonna assume don't play. They're gonna assume you plugged. That's the best way to put it. They're gonna assume that when they go to the big rap shows, you the older dudes back there throwing these shows and know everybody. They're gonna assume you got a lot of crazy nephews and nieces here. Even at my age, when I see an older woman, I already know her sons and nephews, you know what I'm saying, is gonna be on dummy. Which is I living in Chicago. You already know that come with it. You already know that you ain't gotta just deal with just her. You know what I'm saying? You know that in the dough. So when you talk to her, you're talking to some other people that ain't there. It's different. You know that. You know that. It's something come with that. So that's why you don't see a lot of rudeness, and people are not rude here. Will came here. Nobody just talking crazy here. It's not safe. You can't just talk crazy to the old lady. It's something behind that. You don't know who her nephews is, her sons, her grandsons, even her husband. You know. Oh no. But I was trying to figure out what will I get out of trying to act younger? And how do you do that? How do you act younger? And why? Because typically men, they only try to cut their age down for women, not for other dudes. So typically, men and women in Chicago, blacks, foundational black Americans, only start to try to look younger as they get older for dating purposes, not for just to be on the internet talking. Women putting on the girdles and trying to pull it in, trying to work out. This is all to look good out there on the scene as far as dating. Depending on your age category, I'm getting ready to be 68 in February. So for the brothers I'm gonna give y'all a game in your 40s and 50s. Your 40s, you might be dating a woman in her 30s, right? She might even be in her late 20s. All right, you want to kind of be relatable as possible. 50s, you want to look as good as you can at 50. Right? Okay, y'all a game about dating at my age that I'm not doing right now, but if I was, I'm going to tell you. Now, at my age, 68, looking like this is a gold mine at my age. There ain't no, it what don't make sense to try to look younger because at 68, I'm going to be 68 in February, you ain't trying to date nobody under, you really don't want nobody under 60. You'll deal with the 50s, mid 50s, but you really don't. There's levels of maturity, and then when you get to this age, you don't want to. You don't want to deal with nobody that still got time to grow. So the ideal woman is going to be like 60, 58, 59, 60. She tired of been there, done all that. You're not trying to deal with that world. So that's how I could tell some people they don't know the psychology about age. February, I'm going to be 68. I'm going into 70. I'm not trying to do 45-year-old stuff and 50-year-old stuff. You're not trying to do that. So the age where a lot of men really try to look younger is from 40 to 55. That's when they trying to hide the gray, all of that. Get the haircut and get the suit right that's that age. that's that age. That's not in my age category. So a lot of people trying to put me in the wrong age category. If you're 45, 50, something like that, first off, you ain't got access to as many women as me. At 68, I got more women available than if you're younger. I got a whole slew of retired women, widows. I'm talking about a billion of them that's ready to get together, get married as quick as possible, make more money, go on trips and all that. They at a different point in their life. Highly mature, tired of being single, don't care nothing about money. So You could have a lot of money, she don't care. You could be working hard and have some money, she don't care. So you're not going to go and deal with certain levels that you've already dealt with. And I know a lot of young brothers, you understand what I'm saying. But you're someone like me, you've already dealt with women in the other age categories. You're not doing that. You already know what comes with that. You're definitely not going to date nobody going through midlife crisis. You're definitely not going to date nobody dealing with empty nest who kid just like only been to college only a few years and they kind of tripping. That's younger. You're going to do that. You're going to do that younger than the age I am. That's the first thing. So you're not going to, all the brothers around here in Chicago that's my age, they're just trying to look the best they can at that age. They're not trying to look no younger age. That's the first thing. And these is facts. It ain't nobody over 63 that's trying to look younger. Mm-mm. Anybody doing that? Because you can't anyway. You can't, if you 68, I'm going to be 68, ain't no looking younger. How the hell you going to do that? Make it make some sense. How you going to be 68 and try to look younger? How you pull that off? Make it make some sense. So there's these, I guess, older dudes or something looking, because I've had a few dudes say it. Man, you try to look like, man, you got to try to act like a YN. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And I figured it out. It's the way I talk. Now you'll say to yourself, well, why would they say the way you talk is like a YN? I figured it out. Typically, people begin to talk like the people they're around. So, like if you meet a woman, she'll have a little something she say, or you have something she say, and you all take little sayings from each other to be saying. Now, as a father, uh, and mothers, we, if we're around our children, we say their words. They bring words home. They always saying, and we start saying them because we saying them because we having fun with our children. So if let me give you something like the word popping, and you young, and you got young children, they come on to yeah, daddy, that's popping. Yeah, daddy, this popping. Yeah, dad, that's popping. So what we do as parents, we say it. Not to act young, but this is how we talk to our children. What you think? I'm popping? And they be like, no. Or you know what I'm saying? So it's like a family joke with black people. We use our children's words a lot. A woman, any of these women to tell you if they got daughters and children and their daughter doing a certain dance dress, their mama do that because they know it tickled the daughter. They know the daughter get a kick out of mama doing her stuff. This is black culture. So mama gonna do her daughter's stuff. This is how we have fun in the black community. This is what we do. But it's an inside joke with the family. Now, this is how I figured it out. Now, if I'm at home and I work from home and I work for myself, and I got my son and my stepson, and I got my stepdaughters and the baby. Now, I'm around them all day because I work from home. Their mother worked where she worked. I work from home. I run the record label. I do myself. I'm making my money working from home. So I'm around them. So when they come around me and say stuff, I pick it up and say it. Now, I figured out why some of these older dudes are saying I'm trying to act young. Because what'll happen is, if I got a job, I got to go to work 5 days a week. I'm going to be talking more like my job than the way I'm going to be talking playing around at home. Because let's say I work 9 to 5, I get home at 6. I'm only going to be really talking to the children and stuff from 6 till they go to bed, 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day at work. So a majority of my conversation, the majority of how I talk, the majority of how I carry myself is going to reflect my job. So I got black men that work jobs that have been working 40 hours a week, let's say from 30 to 50. So let's say 20 years, he's been talking job talk. And when you go to work like that every day, you come home, you're still that same person. So when daddy works at the bank and mommy works at the bank, when they come home, they still bankers. They still carry themselves like bankers because they got to go back tomorrow. Okay? They got to go back tomorrow. So they go to work year in, year out, and they become working black people. They don't turn it on and turn it off. They become Negro type working black people. I'm not saying that's like it's a bad thing, but they do it so much. That's how they talk. That's who they are. So now when I come over here, I haven't worked since I was 20. I've worked for myself. I've never had to have a corporate conversation or talk corporate, or talk a certain way in these offices. So when I'm talking, it don't sound mature to them. I figured it out because they're working blacks and they're dibby, 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 and I ain't no dibby, dibby, dibby. So now when they see me just like I said that, to them, I'm acting young. What they don't understand, no, I'm free. I wasn't a slave. So I don't have a slave conversation. I don't have a Bank of America conversation where I've been working at Bank of America for 25 years. Or I've been working for the Treasury Department 25 years. Or I've been working here and there. I nurse for 25 years. I ain't been talking nurse talk. Your whole life, your vocabulary is based off of the job you've had to do for 30 years. So now when you talk to me, I don't seem to be an adult in your world. That's why they saying I'm a YN. Because a typical black that's been working 20, 30 years, they have a certain way they talk and communicate. They have to do that 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. You understand? And they don't code switch. That's how they be. They only code switch when they're young. They only switch when they're young. Like my mother when they're young, my dad when they're young. They'll be your daddy at home and your mom at work. But by the time they constantly going to work, they join the church, they become one way. They never, ain't no more switching. Your daddy become the church work daddy and your mama become the church work woman. She never be that young 20-something-year-old mama. That goes away. That goes away. I figured it out. So these people that don't like how I'm functioning, these are older people that have worked 20 years in the system. And the way I'm talking at my age throw them off. So they assume I'm trying to act young. Because psychologically, I remind them when they was young, before they accepted picking cotton and accepted being a corporate slave. I figured out because I'm like, what is it? I figured it out. I'm not. If you go on Instagram or anything and you see older parties, tell me they ain't all Negro spirituals. They all dressed the same way. The men have those suits on. The whole look, the haircut, the women's hair, everything is cookie cutter, like Barbie and Ken. The way they talk, their vocabulary, their posture is all programmed based on their jobs. They can't never be this one I've been, because I've been free. So what they're picking up from me, they take it, they think I'm trying to act like this. Because they would have to act like this because they're already how they are. So to them, it's an act. To them, I probably am 1 minute like how they are, and then this is a YN. That's the only thing makes sense. What would make this YN when it ain't even YN? So I'm trying to figure out what they mean. This is not even YN. So what is it about this that's making you think it's an act, that I'm trying to act like something? And now I know, because at my age, you want to know why I'm not like you. So you can't even imagine at this age that I'm not like you. I got to be like you in real life. So this got to be an act. I got to be acting like AYN. The key word is acting. And I'm like, what you mean acting? I get it. I figured it out. It's acting because you and all your friends are corporate clones. Just like if I would have been working, I haven't worked. I started working out of high school, so I know what I'm talking about. I worked for the stock exchange and I worked for the Treasury Department. And there's no way I could have worked for the U.S. Treasury Department all these years and be anything like this. I would have changed. Going in there year in, year out for 40 years. There's no way I would be like this. I would have had to become that person at work all the time. When my mother was young and she started working for the U.S. government, she still had the Alabama mama and the work. But by the time my mama worked there and got in her mid-30s, the Alabama mama was gone. She was that work lady all the time. They totally deprogrammed her. There was no more of the young Mrs. Stewart from Alabama. That was all got washed out. And now she was, all the time. All the time. From doing that, day in and day out, keeping that work persona, that work voice, because my mother had a work voice, and all y'all that work like that, you have a work voice. And after a while, that'd be your permanent voice. Because I remember calling my mother, say, may I speak to Beth Stewart? And my mother would get on the phone and say, Beth Stewart, selective service. And I'd be like, Mom, she'd be like, what you want? That's two different voices. What you want is once you find out is us. That other lady is the work lady. And by the time 10 years, the what you want mama be gone. And all the time she be the work lady. All the time she be the work lady. So I figured it out. These is brothers that been working jobs a long time. And when they see me talking like this, freely like this, they think it's an act. They can't comprehend that everybody ain't like them. I figured it out. I figured it out. When I start thinking about my children and repeat what my children, then I say, yeah, but when I go to work, I ain't gonna be saying that. But if I'm around my children, they talk crazy, I don't gotta go to work. I could keep saying it forever, right? Right? If I'm the at-home daddy and I work for myself, whatever kind of attitude I got with my children at work, I don't gotta ever change that. I could be like that the whole time because I am not going kissing nobody's ass where I gotta be somebody different. I'm me. I don't want to dibby. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not against nobody to do it. Do what you got to do. But it's in a European mindset. It's a European model. If you work in the United States, you have to model yourself like Europeans. So when brothers come over here telling me that I'm acting like a YN, you acting like a WM. Don't worry about me. No, it ain't nothing wrong with me. You the one that have been deprogrammed and reprogrammed. And now you mad at me because I need to be like you. So when you see me like this, because I'm like, what they mean to act? Because I've been like this the whole time. Because I'm me. I'm the boss over here. I'm the boss of my companies. I can't get fired. When YouTube demonetized me, what did that do to me? Nothing. I'm my own boss. That's just hustling with them. Facts. I had just started hustling with them. How I've been making it all these years before they monetized me. That's the same way I made it when they demonetized me. What? They got me effed up. Boy, I'm doing me. Facts. Ain't no get evicted, lose the car and all that for that. No, I'm getting my own. I'm doing my own stuff. I don't even discuss. Because I couldn't figure out what about me made black men say that I'm acting like a YN. And I'm like, first, I'm not. So I'm like, they don't even know how YNs in Chicago talk and act. Because anybody in Chicago tell you, not like this. I haven't said, since I've been on here, I haven't said one phrase or any sentence anywhere near how they talk. That's a fact. I haven't used the cadence or anything of a young YN in Chicago. Anybody could tell you that. I don't sound nothing like none of them. So I'm saying, well, I don't sound nothing like no YN in Chicago. What is he talking about? I don't dress like no YN. So I'm like, what make them think I'm dressed? Oh, because I'm not dressing like you. Because I don't got on the slave outfit. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. What I got on ain't how you dress. You don't know what it is, so you think it is trying to be young. That's the only thing you could come up with. No, I just ain't been no slave. I never changed. I've been wearing military clothes. I've been wearing army green. I'm I'm not trying to be no white. I'm being me. This is me. I'm just the same person. So okay, if this is me, and this is me, and this is me, and this is me, because I look like this, you think I'm trying to be like this. Because you can't register that I'm just being me. I ain't trying to act like I was back then. I just never changed. I'm still the same. And you not the same. So the only thing you can imagine is that I'm trying to be like this. You can't imagine that I'm still that because I've never had to change. Because I never had nobody pay me and tell me I got to act the way they want me to act. I did it at first. That's why I liked factory work. You don't have to do that at factory work. But office work, I don't like it. Working with the public, because now they want you to speak to the public a certain way, act a certain way. You got to lose yourself. Now you got to do what you got to do to get money. So I'm not against it, but I just could not figure out what about me made brothers say I'm acting like a YN. I'm like, why is they saying something don't make no sense? Because ain't nobody acting like a YN that ain't shaving. So you sound like a fool. But I'm like, it can't just be they a fool. There's something throwing them off. Because anybody can look at my beard and mustache and say, he ain't trying to be no damn YN. As a matter of fact, the brothers that's criticizing me, they the ones that's trying to look younger. They the ones shaving every day. They the ones, the same person saying I'm trying to act younger, dyed his beard, shaving his mustache, shaving his beard, and trying to put on clothes to look younger. The same brothers get over here trying to accuse me trying to act younger. It's really the ones doing it. You the one trying to look younger when you go to work. You the one got the razor and clippers and stuff in there. You the one at the barbershop. You don't even want your hair to grow. You're trying to keep it like this so you can look like this every day for years. You want to be in suspended animation. My hair don't grow. My hair just like this. Because if you get a haircut every week, you trying to look the same, ain't you? You try to say, my hair don't grow. I look the same day in and day out. You the one trying to stay the same age. Because as you get older, your hair grow, don't it? Okay, then. I don't know no YNs that just got these kind of locks that don't nobody care about. These YNs is feminine. They do their hair like girls. They be trying to be cute. I don't do cute. So I couldn't be no YN. Because YNs be trying to look cute. I remember they had the dreads and everybody was saying it's YN. They finna cut all them dreads off. It ain't gonna be a dread nowhere. Watch. Them boys cutting all them dreads off there. It ain't gonna be, watch. 2026, by 2027, they won't have no dreads. Watch. Ain't not a one of them gonna have a dread nowhere. Watch. It's over. I had my locks before them, doing them, and after them. So this is why people, black men, think I'm trying to act young because I don't talk like a mature working black person. The way I talk, it to them is throwing them off because everywhere they go, everybody talk like them. They're all workers. So when they go to their events, they go to their cotillions, they go to their family functions, they're all perched up. They all talk the same way. So now when you see me, I'm not talking like black Americans talk because black Americans is all workers. So because I'm not talking like a worker, they're like, he trying to talk like that. They think I'm trying to talk like this because they can't comprehend that I never had to change. You the one that worked and tried to talk how you work, and now you got it down. And that's why, because it was just too many brothers saying that to me, which if I was doing YN stuff, I would have understood. But I'm in Chicago, and ain't nothing I'm doing YN. So I'm like, well, what's giving them the impression that this is even YN? That's why I had to look into it, because anybody in Chicago can tell you, this ain't YN. It ain't nothing about me YN. So I'm like, well, why do you get the impression that this is a YN impersonation? Now I get it, because I'm not like black people. Black people have been totally reprogrammed. And I don't sound like a working black American. I don't sound like a FBA that work. I don't sound right. And in their mind, at this age, I should have been already totally programmed. And I got to be programmed, so this got to be an act. So to them, this is an act, because it ain't no way I'm finna be 70 like this. I got to be faking. Why? Because everybody they know has already been reprogrammed. And you can't tell me nothing, because I be outside and I go to the baby showers and I go to the events, and that's what it be like. I be there with a bunch of black people that been reprogrammed. I'm the only one there be like this. I don't say too much. I just watch, because I'll be the only one there. Everybody else be a full-fledged 100% new improved Negro. And I know what I'm talking about, because my parents came up here and had me in the 50s. And y'all ain't nothing how like black people used to be. You the ones that changed, because you are nothing like your grandparents at all. And if you my age, most likely you ain't nothing like your parents. Very few of you. You are not what we were. You are what we done became. You're not what we were. I'm really closer to your granddaddy and your grandmama and great granddaddy and grandmama. You the one not. You the one different. I could have went to Alabama and Mississippi in the 60s like this, and I would have been straight. You would have been the one that they would have looked at as city folk. They looked at you because you worse than the ones used to come down there. My mom and they used to come down there. They used to leave that here. See, black folks back in the 60s and 70s, when they went to Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia to visit their relatives, they left that character that you are all the time, they left that at home. And they came down there as their real self. But I'm not holding against you after doing something for so long. Many of y'all young, your daddy was already changed. Your mama was already changed. You born. This is just how you are now. You born a Negro worker that have to speak according to what you have to do to make a living. And I can't hold that against you. So I'm not holding it against you. I'm just letting you know I understand why I seem so strange. Because I'm like, why do I seem so strange to these people? Why is so many people saying I'm trying to act a certain kind of way? I couldn't figure it out. I sat here and I just kept writing it down. And then I said, oh, I know why. Because it ain't no black people there around like me. The only ones there around that don't act like the working blacks is the YNs. That's why they say, I'm trying to be a YN. Because when these older working people go home, the only ones that still their natural self is the young kids that ain't been in the workforce yet. So the only ones that don't talk Negro work dialect is the YNs because they haven't been programmed into the system yet. So that's why they say I'm like a YN because I still ain't been programmed into the system. So technically they're right. When you look metaphysically, yeah, I'm definitely a YN. I'm an FN. I'm a free N word. And you a PN, a program N word. Yeah, you're a PN. So that's why I look like a YN. That's why I look like an FN. I figured it out. And when it hit me, like, that's what it is. I'm not typical. When older black people get together, they don't act like this. They don't talk like this. But I ain't been to the barbershop since 1978. So now I ain't like you. I ain't ate no chicken and all that stuff. No, not because I'm more relatable, because they they are programmed that everybody they're around has already been programmed. We're in the second generation of programmed Negroes. And I'm not, so I look different. It's not about relatable. If you come up and you're younger, right? I'm finna be 68. If you come up and you're 48, that means when you was born under people already programmed. You wasn't even born under my mother and them that became programmed. You was born under people that was already changed. So you born like that. So imagine you go to work, right? And you see how everybody talk at work and act at work. Now imagine everybody has become like that all the time. And imagine getting around somebody that have not become like that. Because you can only pretend at work for so many generations before you become that person, that working black. And this generation of blacks are working, deprogrammed, reprogrammed blacks. And that's why I look so strange. That's why they feel like I'm trying to relate to the young generation, which is false. I'm not trying to relate to no goddamn body. I don't give a damn how old you is. I'm just out here talking. I'm not trying to talk no kind of way for nobody. So, Michael, that's what they think. They think I'm trying to talk like that for somebody. They can't imagine, no, this is how I get out for real. They think I'm trying to talk like this. So what made me, why do they think I'm trying to talk like this? Because everybody else don't talk like this at all. So I got to be practicing or trying. Because it ain't nowhere, everywhere else they go, there ain't nobody like this. Where? Everybody's already a working black. Already dibba. So all these years I've been free of the system. Now it's showing. Now I'm the oddball. after so many decades. You got to look, this is decades. I'm going on 5 decades of no haircut and no working for nobody. 5 decades. How much has changed in 5 decades? And I'm still like 1978. Imagine I'm like 1978 and people is like 2025. Imagine how different I've seen. So now, you don't know what 1978 was like. So this got to be an act. There's no way I'm really like this. So that's why they say acting. People think I'm acting. That's why the dudes say, you acting like a YN. Why? Because he has no other definition. Because clearly this is not a YN. So what makes him think that this is a YN and this is acting? I figured it out. It has to be, because ain't nobody else like this. It's got to be an act. His mom ain't like this. His daddy ain't like none of his grandparents like that. Every last one of you still got a slave name. 95% of my audience still eating slave diet. You still eating what they told you to eat. You doing everything like they told you. As a matter of fact, they don't told you. Your parents raised you like that. My parents had to be changed by the system. In other words, my mother's down south. They saying your hair nappy, your lips is big, you're too dark. So my grandmother started putting stuff on her face to lighten up, start putting wigs on her head. Then my grandmama had my mother. And then my grandmama is doing this to my mama already. But my mama's still down south where she could see that my grandmama's doing this. But then my mama come up here and have my sister. So my sister don't know nothing about what granny and her mama was. To my sister, she normal. To my sister, that's normal. She was born like that. Her mama wasn't born like that. My grandmama wasn't born like that. My sister, the first generation, born like that. My grandmama and my mother were still altering themselves. Facts. When I was a little boy, they was like, come out that sun before you get too black. Pull your lips in. Comb your nappy ass hair. You don't hear that anymore because the black man dare let a nap come in his hair. Now, he gonna keep that stuff, bro. Matter of fact, he put a tile wave cap on it. So we get, he nap, I seen some brother cut his dreads off, and black people was cheering. They were so happy he cut them off. This was like 2 or 3 days ago. Some famous person, they cut their dreads. Man, everybody was happy. Black folks was happy. Ooh, he finally cut that. Dang, who was that? Somebody that had dreads for a long time, cut them off. Everybody was happy. They was thrilled. And so I finally figured it out because I was wondering why brothers kept saying I was acting like a YN. And being in Chicago, I knew that was wrong. YN. I'm like, so I'm not trying to think about that. I'm trying to think of what would make you say that when that's, and why do you believe that? What is it that make you believe that? And then I figured it out. Because I'm not a black working American at my age. I haven't been in the system talking like a bird Yeah, Mr. Western, I'm going to get that done immediately, sir. So I haven't never acclimated to that. So now think about it. And I'm not trying to diss. I'm telling y'all the psychology. I ain't trying to disrespect nobody because it ain't your fault. But I'm saying, imagine you grow up now and everybody's like that. Everybody. This is the way it is. And then you see me online and you're like, why is he acting like that? Think about it. If they say I'm acting, what if I'm not acting? So if I'm not acting and this is how I am, what makes them say I'm acting? Because I got to be acting because ain't nobody else like that. I got to be just like them and I'm acting. And so what would I be acting for? I have to be acting to try to be a YN. What you have to figure out some reason I'm acting. You consider working a job with your suit on, you consider that mature. So if I'm not talking like you with the suit on and my lips perched, what's the opposite of mature? Immature. So I'm immature. YN. Because what's immature? Youth. So I got to be acting like a youth because this is not mature. Because mature is, so yeah, I went to the office the other day and it's mature. Mature is what the European told you is mature in his world. Told you what's acceptable. Told you what's professional. Okay? And professional is a look and the way you talk because they totally unprofessional when it comes to the work. So what is professional in a goddamn country where can't nobody do shit right? They tell you to be a professional at work, right? Do anything you try to get done or pay for get done professionally? Barely. So professional is not the quality of work. What's professional? Professional is changing your culture, emulating somebody else's culture. You need to look like us and talk like us to work here. So you need to cut that hair. You need to get that hair cut down. Don't you come in there with no dreads. Don't you come in there with no braids. You better go get some blonde hair in that hair. You better straighten that hair. And the ones got the lighter skin, we're going to hire before we hire you. So I don't know what you're going to do. But you too black. So now you're showing up, you got your blonde hair. And you got your lips perched. And, hey, Mr. Johnson, I got everything done. You know? And so now I have to be everybody you're around is like that. Men come over here. You over here trying to act like a YN. You need to be a mature like me. You know what I'm saying? How you want me to act? You need to act like me. And I bet you I go to your house, you got a whole bunch of suits in the closet, and you got, you know what I'm saying? All from GQ and L. Lamore. None of that's from black. None of that's black ideology. All of that is European dress, European, okay? Even though you invented it, they the ones stamped it as this is what we want. This is what we consider professional. And so I'm definitely, and what you call maybe anomaly, I'm a relic. That I ain't even realized that I'm like, I'm like the last, which is crazy. Like I'm, besides some elders that might be like 90 or something, I'm the last black, foundational black American, original as far as before we was programmed. I'm the closest to us out the South. That's crazy. I ain't even know. That's crazy. I had to think about it. I'm like, oh, I'm still the same. I'm still the same because I haven't had to work for them. So I didn't have to change. So I'm still 1970, 1960. I'm still that. Everybody else had to change. And I know what I'm talking about because I'm first generation change. Facts. I'm first generation office, foundational Black America in the office. When I was working at the Treasury Department, when I was working for the Stock Exchange, I was the first generation in there. My daddy and mom and them, my daddy was bus, my mom worked for Spiegels and stuff like that. And my mama got in there, but I can't say she first generation because when she got in there, she was already in her 20s. She was already in her 30s. Let me see if I'm, no, she was already in her 40s when she got in there, late 30s, early 40s. I got in there at 18. So I'm the first baby in there because you can't work no sooner than that. So I'm the first one that age working in corporate America. Facts, first generation. There's no blacks working in corporate America in 1977 at 18, 19 years old but me. I'm first generation. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because they didn't even let blacks have them jobs there. And the only reason I was fortunate because my mother had me take typing. And because I took typing, I moved up and got jobs that Black Americans couldn't get because no black men didn't know how to type. Because I knew how to type and I could type 60 words a minute with no error, I got in jobs that it wasn't nothing but women. Anybody could tell you. I'm like I guarantee you I'm one of the first black men in corporate America at 19 years old. That's an absolute fact. And all them jobs I had was all women because they knew how to type and the men didn't know how to type. Facts. All women. Typing them stock certificates, all women. A whole thing of just, and the black women. They didn't have no white women doing the typing. The white women was in the big corporate in the offices. The black women was typing up all the stocks. I was in the vault. I was the one that typed the information on the stock, how much it's worth. Then they would come get them and they would type who it go to. So all I would do is take the paperwork. You want 100 shares of this, that. That's all I would put on there. And the corporation you got it from. So I would get the stock, how much shares it was, and I would type which corporation you got it from. And then the sisters would come to the vault and get it, and they would go type all the paperwork on who these shares, who these stocks go to. But you had to know how to type. If I know how to type, I wouldn't have been able to fill out those stocks. Like I actually typed on the stock certificate. So I worked in the vault and it was just stocks. That's how I learned business too. It was just stocks, American Home Products, Exxon, Shell. Facts. Big. And it was a vault. I was in there locked in. That's how valuable they thought those was. I was in a vault, locked in. It's the bars you can see people walk by, but you can't get in there. It'll open from the inside out, but it won't open from the outside in unless you got a key. And there's a key in that door, so it opens. If the dude in there take that key out, then you can't get in or out. And it was just bins full of stocks. And that's how I learned. How they make money because you might buy stocks in Colgate. You might buy stocks in some other toothpaste, some other mouthwash and stuff. But then they got a stock that owns all those stocks. And only certain people know that. So American owned products own a whole bunch of products. Now, if you don't know, you're going to buy stocks in just this product, that product, that product. You understand? Yeah, and I was number 19. So if you don't know, you're going to buy this product, that product, that product, that product. But the guys know they're going to buy the company that own all them products. So no matter which one do well, they're going to make money. And now they switched that to this. I don't know what I did with it. Now they switched that to this. Now that one company that owns all is a mutual fund. Sign up to Fidelity and buy VTSAX. Don't say I didn't tell you. If you didn't get it, sorry. I can't be telling you everything. But yeah, I worked in there. It was all women with me. You know, I'm dressed, I'm reading Ella Moore, I'm reading GQ magazine, I'm dressed, tailor-made suits, tie, vest, handkerchief. You know what I'm saying? 19, I'm down here, all these beautiful women, 26, 28, 29, 30, 40. Got my fresh Jerry curl. Nobody even had a Jerry curl yet. I had a Jerry curl. I went straight from Jerry curl to dreadlocks. I went straight from there to a triple X. I didn't work in the stock market. I worked in the stock exchange. The stock exchange was like a stock bank. We got the stocks. The stock market was around the corner. That's just where LaSalle Street is all stocks. I'm here on Lake. All the way down to the end is the stock exchange. That's just where you do the bidding. I was where the actual certificates is at. And my girlfriend was only 17, and she was working at Payne Weber or Merrill Lynch. I think Payne Weber. They both down there. We both worked on LaSalle Street, straight out of high school. But I was the only black male. The other brothers worked in the mail room, which is regular jeans and stuff. I'm the only one with suit and tie and stuff. I ain't number 19. So therefore, if I would have stayed in that, I would be nothing like this. My vocabulary would have changed. My code of conduct would have changed. The way I carry myself would have changed. I definitely wouldn't have no dreadlocks. I'd have a haircut. Right? So I would have not been this person. I would have been reprogrammed. For sure. I would have been totally reprogrammed because I started growing my dreadlocks there. They ain't like they fired me, but they fired me, and it probably was because of my hair, but it was also because I didn't want to come to work no more. I just didn't want to go in there. I didn't like going to work every day. it just felt like slavery to me. And by the time I got to the U.S. Treasury Department, I remember a lady had retired and they gave her a little party. She was old as hell. And I remember looking at that lady, and I'm only 20, and I'm thinking, I got to do something like this till I get old like that. And I was like, I ain't going to be able to do it. I even added up how long I would have to be on the bus. And I think if I worked to retirement, I took the bus an hour to work and hour back, I think I'd be on the bus like 7 years. By the time I retired, the bus ride would have been 7 years just on the bus, getting to work and bus and train, getting to work and getting home. You be on traffic in your car 7 years by the time you retire. That's how long you've been in the car or the train, or whatever transportation. By the time you retire, you've been in there 7 years. Do the math. Add it up. 2 hours a day, 5 times a week. 5 times, and then multiply that by how many weeks in a year, and then multiply that by how many years you work, and see how many hours, and then divide that by 24. And that's going to tell you how many days. And it's going to be thousands of days. And you got to divide that by 365. It's going to tell you exactly how many years. You're like, God, years just going to work and coming back. Because you think 2 hours a day, right? 12 days, that means you've been a whole day, right? 2 hours a day. 12 days, what's 12 times 2? 24 hours, right? Somebody do the math. If you 2 hours, an hour to work and an hour back for 5 days, that's 10 hours, ain't it? 2 weeks, ain't that 20 hours? 2 weeks and 4 days, ain't that a whole day? Every 2.5 weeks, ain't you a whole day traveling? Do the math and tell me I'm tripping. Do the math. An hour to work and an hour home for 5 days. That's 10 hours, right? That's almost a half a day. Just 1 week of work. 1 week of work, 10 hours you on a day. The next week, that's 20 hours. The next week, that's 30 hours. 3 weeks, you're going to be in transportation for over a day. Just going to work and coming home is a whole day you spent. And they don't pay you for that time. You don't get paid for that 30 hours in 3 weeks. You don't get paid for 30 hours a whole day out your life. Every month, you're spending like a whole day, over a day every month. So by the time a year is over, you probably spent 13 days, 13 whole days just getting to work and coming back. Time 10, that's what? That's 130 days. Something like that. Do the math. It's frightening though. Do the math. Somebody do the math and tell me from 20 years old to retirement, which is 45 years. If you're on the, if you're on, the, if you're on the, if you're going back and forth to work 45 years, 2 hours, 10 days a week, how many hours you end up just going to work and back, and you don't get paid for? Years going to work and coming back. Years. I couldn't do it. I was too smart for my own good. I added it up. When I seen that old lady retire, and I started adding that up, I said, oh, hell no. There is no money you could give me that I would go back and put them hours in. You couldn't give me no house, yacht. If you gave me a house, a yacht, and a jet for me to be on back and forth all these years, hell no. I would have just been retiring 2 years ago. Hell no. Hey, I would have just been retiring. I would have just been free. So yeah, I got the house and all that, but I'm gonna be 60-some years old before I'm free to enjoy the house. So by the time I'm free to enjoy the house, all my beautiful part, my young part of my life is gone. I gave it to y'all. My 20s, my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s, and half of my 60s. I gave it to you. And then with the food they feeding you, people passing away before they even retire. They ain't never getting free. Now you 65, but you got kidney failure. You been had cancer since you was, like my mother had cancer, passed away. She never retired. She died. Facts. My daddy retired, but he ended up with dementia and everything. He didn't get to enjoy no retirement. By the time he retired, he wasn't worth nothing. He was sick. Because the whole time you eating what? What you eating for lunch? For 40-something years. 45 years working, what you eat? What they got in the lunchroom? What they got downtown for lunch? It's a cold game. I'm trying to tell you, Robert. It's a cold game. Whereas the big ones at the top, they can work, they can put so much equity in, they can retire at 30. Let somebody else do it. Go invest and go golf, go do whatever they want to do. The one white man told me they only put 7, 8 years in. They work 7, 8 years and they retire. That's what he told me. He said if they get out of college and they start working at like 25, by 32 they're ready to retire, and they just let their money work. They're not up in there doing that to no doggone 65. Sure ain't. They got all kind of equity in the company and everything. So that's why people say, and then when you just stay the same, they say you're trying to act young. I'm trying to act young because I've always wore army green. I always dressed the same. And I guess I'm not supposed to dress the same. Dressing the same and liking what you like now is young. Okay, I like Clarks. I've always liked Clarks. So because I got Clarks, I'm trying to be young. just because I wear what I always been like. No, you're not supposed to wear what you always be like. You old, you're supposed to be buying old man stuff. This the mentality. Bro, you don't need to hide that on what you got on. You need to buy stuff, old man clothes. You know what I'm saying? You can't dress the way you want to dress no more, Pharaoh. You got to be old. And if you dress the way you want to dress, then you want to be young. What the hell? What you mean I want to be drunk? This is what I like. So the what I like supposed to change? Yeah, it's supposed to change. You're supposed to do what the system tell you, Pharaoh. You can't do what you want to do, Pharaoh. You got to do what we tell you. Basically. So now I see why brothers keep saying, I act like a YN. I get it. I get it. But then if that's the case, what was my daddy? Because my daddy had a rifle, and if you messed around, he was always going to grabbing it. Well, he's a YN, or I thought he was a black man defending his family. You know why they hate Jim Jones? You know why they hate Jim Jones the way he dressed? Because he don't have to work for the system. It's the same reason they be hating on me. The only reason they complain about what he wearing, because he don't have to work for the system. He can be himself. And in their minds, him being like that mean he trying to be a YN. But that's not true. He's not trying to be a YN. He's not trying to sell out and be a corporate slave. And in their mind, if you don't do corporate, you're immature. Maturity is being corporate. Maturity is a suit and tie. No suit, no tie, you immature. You're trying to be a YN. Stop trying to be a YN. Put a suit and a tie on, bro, some hard shoes. That's what that's all about. And Jim Jones is like, I want to do what I want to do. They don't want him to change the way he dressed for nothing but to submit to the system. That's it. It has nothing to do with him. Changing how he dressed will not better him none. It will not make him healthier. It will not do anything for him personally. So change for what? Why do we have to change the way he dressed? They want him to submit to the system. And if you submit, then they'll bring you in. But you got to submit. Because what grown man care about what Jim Jones got on? What I look like as a grown man speaking on what the hell he wearing. You know how many men? You know how many men don't understand what they look like speaking on what he got on? That's not masculine. What Jim Jones got on got anything to do with me at all? Like, what does that have to do with anything at all in my life at all? Why is that any concern to me what Jimmy want to wear? Why do you think you can decide what Jimmy need to wear? Because you work for the system and you didn't already bow down, and you want Jimmy to bow down. You want him to put a suit on just like everybody else had to do and conform to the system. And Jimmy don't want to conform to the system. I got love to 50 Cent, but on another level, putting all them suits and stuff on, it's to get in the corporate world. It's not to do what he want to do. He not dressing the way he want to dress. He dressing the way he got to dress in corporate America. That's what 50 doing. I support him, but I sure would tell him, Jimmy's freer than you. Jimmy's freer than 50. 50 want the money though. So he doing what he want to do for the money. But I would ask 50 how you a rebel when you support changing the way you look to get somewhere. What I look like as a man, talking about what Jimmy got on. That's feminine. Jimmy's a grown ass man. You know why they worry about what Jim got on? Because everybody else had to conform. And like, you need to conform, Jimmy, like we did. You can't keep dressing the way you want to dress. All the rest of us had to change. All the rest of us had to grow up. Okay? All the rest of us had to conform to the system. Because what do they want them to put on? They want them to put on something more fitting to the system. That's it. Because there would be no other reason why anybody would give a damn what he got on. At what point did Pharaoh give a damn what the hell Jim Jones got on? And Jim Jones a grown-ass man. What I look like speaking on what he got on. Show me the real psychology behind that. The psychology is Jimmy won't conform. And because he won't conform, he try to look like a YN. Why is that a YN? Who said that's a YN? Oh, Pharaoh, there's an age limit to how you could dress. Oh, really? So there's an age limit on what I could wear? Okay. How that sound? What y'all think about an age limit? They try to do the women too. She too old to wear that skirt. Who said? Who said she too old to wear that skirt? Says who? Based on what? So she too old to do what she want? How you too old to do what you want to do? Make that part make some sense. Your mama always told you when you get older, that you grown, you do what you want to do. Now when you get grown, they say you too grown to do what you want to do. Jimmy's too grown to do what he want to do. Look at the psychology. No, Jimmy should be conform like everybody else that had to go to work, and Jimmy don't look like he worked for nobody. And that's the part they don't like. 50 look like he worked for somebody a lot of times. Jimmy don't look like he worked for nobody. And they want you to look like you work for somebody. I ain't criticizing Fifth because he might like to dress like that. But if he watch this, I'm giving him game too. He know I ain't lying. He know I ain't lying. What do Jimmy got to do with anybody? Because when 50 go do his show, he dressed like a rapper too. He try to put and look more like a rapper, put a jacket on too. He try to make it more younger looking too. They say, but it's not really younger looking. So that's what I would say to Phil. Phil, when you put on your jacket and stuff, you ain't trying to look young. You putting on what you like. But some people will say, oh, he trying to look younger. No, he not. He liked that jacket. He liked them pants. He liked them chains. He not putting them chains on to look younger. He really liked that chain. But they'll try to say he trying to look younger. No. He doing him. So whatever fifth wearing he doing him, then let Jimmy do Jimmy and 50 do 50. This is all about us conforming to the system. And if you get a lot of workers to conform, then the workers is mad. Pharaoh, when you going to conform? Stop trying to be a YN, and when you going to be a Negro like us? And take that hat off and dress your age. Right? Are we done? No. They say dress my age, right? Dress my age. I should dress my age. Let's look into that. Bow. Let's look at my age. The average life expectancy for Black American men is around 70 to 72. So if I dressed my age, I would be dressing to get in the casket, wouldn't I? Because I'm 68. Should I dress like I'm 70 and 72? Put it in the chat. Because if I dress my age, I'd be dressing to pass away, wouldn't I? If I dress my age, I'm finna be 68, right? In 2 years. So in 4 to 6 years, my age is the age I'm not going to be here, right? So should I dress my age? Check this out. If I dress my age, Robert, if you dress your age and conform, and you pass away at 72, is it worth it? So you say, do you think we have to humble ourselves to the system until we can learn, get some money from them, and build our own? You ain't never going to build your own if you humble yourself to the system. How you going to build your own when you own his nils nuts the whole time? You're going to build your own. You're going to do it your way. China got where it got because it built the wall and threw them out and said, we're not wearing your clothes. We're not doing like you. We're going to do Chinese. The Black man cannot dress like the European man and get independence. Listen, Robert, if you could build a car that runs good, do you got to dress a certain kind of way to build a good car? Do you got to dress a certain kind of way to manufacture an airplane? Do you got to dress a certain kind of way to run a bank? So the dress ain't doing nothing. So what's the purpose of it? The purpose is so that you don't go nowhere, because if you take a European model as the best and then you follow their model, then in society, they always going to be better than you. So if you're a Black man and you're following a European man's model to dress, and you're dressing like he tell you to dress, and he go for the job, and you go for the job, who gonna get the job? The imitator or the originator? Because when you do what he tell you to do, you're saying he's better than you. So how you gonna compete with him and say he's better than you? If you're a woman going to get blonde hair, how's she gonna compete with the woman that got blonde hair? She not. She'll never compete. You can't follow nobody and beat them. So the idea, should we keep following them so we can beat them? You really? You can't follow nobody and beat them? And on everything, if we go in a business or anywhere, and I come in there, they're going to respect me more than you, by far. They might not want to work with me, but not because how I look. They don't work with me because they're afraid. And I look dominant. So they'd rather have you because you ain't dominant and you ain't going to take over nothing. So the idea that you're going to look like you're not going to take over something and then take it over, it ain't going to happen. You already showing him you ain't going to take over. How you going to take over, but you don't want to look like you taking over? It don't work like that. This is why they didn't like the Black Power move. This is why they didn't like the Afro. This is why they don't like Sister Where They Natural. This is why we got the Crown Act. This is why they want you to emulate them, because that puts them in power. You're saying they're the best. The way they look is the way they're supposed to look. And the way you look is no good, and you're second rate. And no matter what you do, if you're looking like something that's attributed to him, he will always be better than you. How could you be better than anybody you're imitating? Never. You'll never in the world be better than them and imitate them. This is why as young rosters, the white kids followed us. We can go in with you and me, and they're going to follow me. They're not going to follow you. Facts. They ain't going to follow you. You following them. The only way you get somewhere is separate and work and pride. If you don't got racial pride, you go nowhere. You're not going to sell shoes if you're buying Chinese shoes. You're not going to sell clothes if you're buying European clothes. You're not going to sell food if you're buying European food. You got to have your own food. Look at everybody else. They got their own shit. The Chinese got their own food, their own neighborhood, their own everything. The Mexicans got their own everything. Look at everybody else's neighborhood. Look at everybody else's neighborhood. We the only ones do that. Everybody else, they do this. They stand on day, whole day. We the only ones that won't stand on our own culture. To the point your woman is going and she buying fake hair and now she ain't got no hair. All her hair done fell out. Because she going to buy fake hair. And all the hair, everything you do to be like them, they getting rich. They getting rich. They say, you need to dress like us. But why am I buy that? You buy it from us. So everything we doing to look like them, we giving them all our money to look like them. How much money is we giving them to smell and look and dress like them, to drive the car they drive, to buy the house like they house, to wear the suits they got on, the ties they got on, the cologne and perfume they got on? How you gonna get free when you giving them all your money to follow them? And how long it's gonna take you? Hell, it's 2025. So people talking about results, where they at? You're supposed to see these results already. Where's the results? When we talking? 30, 25? When is this magical catching up going to be? 30, 25? Some always said it. We have to, when you go to black neighborhood, it need to look black. It need to be black statues, black music, jazz, soul, R&B. Statues of Coltrane and statues of our people, Booker T. Washington. When you go our neighborhood, it should look like our neighborhood. We should dress like how we dress. And then if they don't want to do with you like that, then don't buy nothing from them and make your own stuff. Don't let nobody tell you, you got to dress the way I want you to dress. But would you buy my car? Would you come buy gas from me? He going to make you do this, and then you're going to go spend all your money with him. Every time he come up, he tells it's Christmas. Okay, master, it's Thanksgiving. Okay. It's New Year's. Okay. How you going to get somewhere? So now, because I want to stay the same and I ain't bowing down, now I'm trying to be like a YN. That's why because I couldn't figure it out. I finally figured it out. I must be trying to be with a YN because I'm not being a Negro. So they're like, well, why he not being a Negro? Why he don't move like the Negro? This how brothers be looking at me. Why he not looking like a Negro? Because in their mind, looking like a Negro is mature. So I'm immature. If I don't put on the typical Black American male, what he wear, the older one, I'm immature. And immature, so that's why because I couldn't figure it out. What the hell they mean YN? Now I got it. That's the only thing they can think of. They know I'm not a YN, but they look at me as immature because maturity is copping in to their lifestyle. Maturity is to dress like what America say is a business professional, to talk like what America say, and that's maturity. So you leave high school and you go to college and they teach you maturity, how to speak well, how to dress for success. Then all the jobs got a dress code. None of the dress code had nothing to do with you at all. It's all about, we've already created a way for you to look. You need to look like this. Oh, now you look so professional and mature. So me, I look unprofessional and I don't look mature. Because mature to the Black man is what America told him is maturity. Professional. You think I'm lying? Right now, Google the word professional look. And then click images and see what the look they're going to tell you is professional. That's why they say I'm trying to act like a YN, because I haven't conceded to the Babylon system telling me what's maturity. You understand? Now, I'm not saying you can't dress any kind of way you want to dress, because I be having on the shirt and the tie because I like it. But this is what they want you to do in their system, to go get a job. And it's not just the clothes, it's the way they want you to act. They want you to act a certain type of way that never benefits you business-wise, only benefits the company. Basically. And I don't act like a company. I don't act like I've ever became a professional. Basically. And this is why they panicking. This is why they panicking over the internet. Because now the internet Your website could just look professional and you ain't got to. You ain't got to see nobody. You just mail stuff out. Now, you could be with just a top on. You don't even have to have no pants on, no skirt or nothing on the bottom. So now they worry. They worry because now it's going into a world where you could get money another kind of way. So they worry. But see, what black people made a mistake is that when you change that cultural identity, because black people say, well, first we got to make money. But what black people understand is when you change that cultural identity, that's where all the money's at. That's what all the money is. That's where all the money is at. Everybody gonna buy what you wear, and they know that. They know that if you make your own style, your own way to wear, everybody gonna do it. Look what they did to Sean John, whatever Russell Simmons clothing. Look at all the black clothing lines came out. Look how they shut them down. Cross colors, all of that. Look what happened to every clothes line. What happened? That was bigger than life, and what they do, shut it down, sabotage it, straight up. Puff got out there, and he was a threat, and they just let him do goofy stuff so they could take him down. They set him up to do all that. FUBU, DKNY, yeah, cross colors. They set him up. Farm, what was the Russell Simmons stuff? Something Farm set us up. Maurice Malone, Barbara Bates, homegirl. Fat Farm, yeah, Fat Farm. So that's what that's about. I just wanted to let y'all know I figured it out. I couldn't figure out why people were saying I'm trying to act like a YN when YNs don't act nothing like this. I was trying to figure it out. And the thing with the YNs is that for me to act like a YN and do it right, I would have to be around them. So maybe have them in the studio or something to hear the dialogue, to be around. It would all happen organically anyway, so it wouldn't be nothing you would be trying to do. But even if I went to the studio twice a week, for me to pick up the slang and all of that from YNs, if I went to the studio twice a week, it would take about six to 10 weeks before I would be able to pick up the slang, the verbiage. It'd take like 6 to 10 weeks. That's nothing you could just do, and it changes. So when that young black culture, it changes constantly. So I would have to constantly be around young black YNs. I would have to be around them constantly if I wanted to try to emulate that. When people say you try to act like a YN, they don't know what they talk about. I'm in the music business. And that their culture changes, their slang changes quick. So you'd have to be entrenched in it. And I'm not. I haven't been in the studio or whatever. So I couldn't do it if I wanted to. But typically, uh, if if I was around some YNs and I came and started saying what they saying, that wouldn't be emulating. That would be black culture. That's what black people do. So that wouldn't be emulating YNs anyway. That's exactly what we do. Soon as a new word get created, we use it straight up. We use it. And so a parent, let's say a parent got some children that's like 29 and stuff, or 25, and they don't live at home and they saying stuff. The parents don't know it. But any parent could tell you whatever their kid came home saying in the fifth grade, sixth grade, high school, mom and daddy said it, especially mommy. Mommy says stuff soon as we bring it home, mommy be saying it in the black community. Because it's not in the black community, that's not copying YNs. That's what we do. We actually do that. We actually pass new slang that's a part of our culture. And if you was young and you was in high school, you and your sister, if the boy was like a junior and the sister was like a sophomore, and the grandmama was staying there for like a year and the mama, and they was coming home, the mama and the grandma be saying everything they saying. But it'll have to be a while till it becomes just general language. It ain't nothing they just copy. It's something that they hear saying, and then that's what black people do. We say what's being said a lot. That's a part of our culture. If I was around a bunch of young black men all the time in the studio, so they say something, I would come right over here and be saying those words. That's what we do. That's not emulate. That is our culture. We do that. That is our culture, but you would have to be around them. I'm not around no YNs. But if I was, I would be saying what they be saying. And if I watch them long enough, I say exactly what they saying. It's our culture. Now I don't watch them a lot, but I might have one I watch, and then I'll start saying it. Like I might start saying Bookie Butt because I'm watching those ski now. I was sad it hit different because I was watching FYBJ Man. I don't watch him too much no more. He kind of changed up. But as soon as he kept saying it hit different, the whole black community was saying it hit different. The only reason older black people wasn't saying it because they wasn't watching him. But if they would be around him and heard that, if they be around him and heard that, we would say it. If you was around your grandmama and your mama, and you was always saying, Mama, it hit different. Mama, it hit different. Mama, it hit different. Your granny be like, something gonna hit you different. Your grandma was so taken. Like something gonna hit you different. That gonna hit something different. That's what black people do. Your granny show go, and you keep saying that granny gonna use it some kind of way. Granny gonna take that and use it granny way. Granny gonna say something gonna hit something different. It's gonna hit different, all right. That's black culture. We take everything. We say everything. But I ain't around nobody, so I ain't got nobody to emulate, or I sure would do it. I remember I was in the studio and my son he was rapping. He said, "With them fees." I'm like, "What the hell is fees?" They're like females. I'm like, "Oh damn!" But they never used it a lot, so I never used it because I wasn't hearing it. But if I'd have been around somebody saying fees, 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 I would have been saying it. I mean, that's part of our culture. But we don't say it trying to be YNs. We say it because that's what black people do. We don't. The only reason we age is because we gotta go to work. That's the only reason we cut certain stuff down because we got to go to work with some other people. If it went for that, we'd wild out. And going to work, going to work, going to work, you end up being your work person. That's all. But to me, it's healthy emulating the young people and saying what the young. I think it's healthy. It's really our culture. One thing about black culture, we make up new words, new words. We want to keep that culture alive. We don't. A word don't last long with black folk. A word don't last long, and YNs don't make all the words up either. A lot of our words be made up by they being people in their 30s be making up words too. People in their 30s make up a lot of words. It ain't all teenagers making them words up. People in their 30s be making them words up. How old is Oskino? Watch Bookie Butt Butt gonna take off. And he probably 50. Watch Bookie Butt Butt. Remember I said it first. Everybody gonna be like, man, you old Bookie Butt Butt. Watch. That's gonna catch. It's already catching already. Somebody gonna call you that by summer. By summer, watch. Black folks gonna be like, man, act like old Bookie Butt Butt. That's just what we do. We ain't trying to be young. That's just our culture. That's just what we do. It could be granddaddy. If granddaddy say something crazy that make the auntie repeat it, and the auntie repeat it, and the son repeat it, and hit the internet, whatever granddaddy say, finna go viral. Everybody finna be saying it. They don't even know where it came from. That's black culture. It don't matter because you young or nothing. All they got to do is catch, and we own that. Been like that. That's our culture. Like I don't know why people trying to hate on our culture. That's what we do. And the older generation always dabble with the younger generation and black culture. Always. They always grab onto that one or two songs that the young kids listen to, and they'll grab that. They got a song. Most of these only older person that ain't got no younger rap song they like is somebody ain't listening. But if they listen and hear it, I guarantee they're gonna have a song they like. I don't give a damn what generation it is. My daddy was notorious for that. Now he's saying it wrong. Daddy, you don't say that. Black people funny. They don't know what he said, but they'll steal it and be singing it and saying it. But they don't say that. Like, Daddy, he didn't say that. He said this. My daddy used to do that all the time. My daddy used to hear our music and it's be a song. He just like it and he just singing it, but he's singing it all wrong. He don't even say that, did he? That's black culture. He wasn't trying to be no white. He liked the song. You understand? Black people be making this stuff, and black people gonna like what black people make. They don't care because they're kids. If them kids make something catchy, black folks gonna repeat it. That's our culture. Yeah, and you're gonna steal it. Yeah. We be stealing from our nieces. Would you tell them, Kathy? We be stealing from these kids. And everybody, next thing you know, it just take off. It ain't because the kids said it. We gotta like it. If we like it, it's up. We're using it. YN took off. Everybody saying YN. Man, everybody saying calling them YNs. Somebody asked me, Why I'm trying to act like a YN, but using the word YN. And I'm like, bro, saying I'm trying to act like a YN, you is acting like a YN saying that. Where you get YN from? See? Where you get YN from? I mean, that's our culture, though. But I don't think it's acting young. I don't think it's act. I don't think. I ain't really never known foundational Black Americans to try to act young. So when you see a foundational, when you see a Black woman in her 40s and she dressed in a certain type of way, she ain't trying to act young. She believes she's still young. She ain't acting. She'll tell you, I ain't acting. I'm with it. I'm really that. And what my grandmama used to say is, I ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? When you ask Granny, Granny, why you got that on? I ain't dead yet. So I mean, I don't feel like you trying to act young no matter what you wear or what you do. I don't feel like you trying to act young. I feel like you just like the shit. I don't feel like I don't know. I wouldn't say nothing that a Black person do, they trying to act young. I would say they like it. Because if we don't like it, we ain't going to do it. We don't give a damn how old you is. We not doing it unless we like it. If we like it, we going to do it. And Black people, we like young stuff and old. If it's catchy, it's up. That's why we got so many viral moments. Because old granny go viral and say something, tell me everybody don't start saying it. It hit TikTok, and a month later, everybody saying what granny said in the TikTok. That's our culture. It don't matter if it's a kid say it, a rapper, granny, granddaddy. If it's hot enough, we taking it. I don't understand. I'm gonna tell you straight up. And I speak for a lot of older brothers. If you drop a baseball cap and it's cold, we going to get it. Boy, we ain't doing no age limit if that thing cold. We going to get that. We putting it right on our head with a matching outfit. With a matching outfit, we going to get that. We going to get that. We not doing no, you too old. We don't do that. We don't do no you too old to do that. That's crazy. Boy, we don't do, hey, boy, in the Black neighborhood ain't no such thing as too old. Boy, get the hell out of here. We doing that. I hear a song I like, boy, I'm banging that. I don't know why I like it, but if I like it, I don't care how old dude is. I'm finna rock it out. You know, man, you listen to that like a wine. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't feel like we should have no limits. Live your life. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta have no damn limits and this too old and this too boy. That sound crazy. We don't do none of that. I know I don't. If I see something and I like it, I'm buying it and I'm wearing it. If I like it, I'm wearing it. I don't care what it is. It could be from the tuxedo shop or it could be from the sports shop. It could be any age category. If it looked like something I want to put on, man, I'm finna put that on. How you gonna tell me I'm trying to look like a YN? when this shit cold. Come on, bro, you sound crazy. Like this hat, gonna look at my hat, tell me I'm trying to look like a YN. Man, this, I don't know what you're talking about. This fresh. You crazy? What is you talking about, bro? Ain't no YN got this hat. This my hat. I just, that ain't that you try to look like a YN. No, I'm not, bro. I'm trying to look like me. I'm trying to be all I could be, like the army. I don't know what you're talking about. That sound, I don't know. It just sound like, it sound crazy. Like we got limitations. We got limitations on what we could do. But then we passing away at 70 and 72. So make that make some sense. You're going to say, oh, somebody trying to look like a YN. Man, look. Black individuals aged 35 to 49. The condition is more common. Look, Black Americans are 80% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. Just look. This is prevalent. Look, specific data highlights the earlier onset of conditions among Black Americans. Hypertension. This is prevalent in Black individuals at a much younger age. Among ages 35 to 49, 33% of Black individuals have high blood pressure compared to 22% of white individuals. So let me get this straight. On one hand, you say I'm trying to be like a YN, but I'm plant based and I'm trying to live forever like Fame. You, on the other hand, you got high blood pressure and you're only 37, 38, 40. Make this stuff make some sense. You trying to pass away early. You trying to eat like an ON. You eating like an ON, talking about I'm trying like a YN. We got our priorities totally messed up. Why is it that you say I'm trying to act young, but you don't want to say nothing about preserving your body to be young? What's up with that? Why aren't you talking about preserving the body to keep the body younger? How is it a bad thing to try to stay younger health-wise? Make that make some sense. We gotta get ourselves together. When you see a brother trying to look spiffy, he ain't trying to be no YN. He living. Okay, he got his little baseball cap on, he got his outfit on, he got his new sneakers on. He ain't trying to be no YN dude still alive. You know what I'm saying? You see a young lady, she went and got her something fly. She got on stuff, it looked like something that her niece have on. Mommy trying to look fly. What you talking about? She look good. Why she got it? Why she can't wear what the young people wear? Make that make some sense. So y'all telling me an older sister can't dress and wear something that youngest people wear? Come on, man. That's crazy. I was just talking to somebody about that. Because these women got on these shorts. So I said, had you seen hot pants in the 60s? They've been wearing that. The only difference between hot pants in the 60s and the shorts they got on now is they were skinnier in the 60s. Or their butt would have been hanging out too. They just didn't have no butt. That's all. They just didn't have no butt. If they would have had one, it would have been hanging out. And they been to my doing the butt. We been on the butt thing. That's what we do. Butts. What? So you try to make it like the young people doing something so crazy. And they doing the same thing everybody else did. And it is the same thing. Different toilet. Same thing. We ain't, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like this, oh, you trying to, like, I don't like the way they doing Jim Jones and Mano and them. They trying to, man, they rappers and they don't feel like they old, like they don't want to dress like no old ass men. They still want to be fresh. They still want to wear the new clothes. Why shouldn't they? And they working out. Yeah, they working out, keeping their bodies in shape. Jimmy in the gym. I like the way Jimmy carrying this up. I like Jim Jones the way he putting on them clothes, but just leaving his hair still gray. I think that's fly. I'm like, yeah, Jimmy doing that. Yeah, he's standing on his age. He's standing on that. This is what I am, and I'm still out here. And a lot of people not gonna be ready for that generation. That generation starts from me on down. All that other stuff, that stuff over with. The future of older people, they not finna act old. That's finna be over with. Remember you seen it first over here. That acting old is finna be, ain't nobody gonna do that no more. That's out of here. Nobody doing that no more. You watch. Remember I said it first. 5 years from now, all the older people gonna be dressing in young fly stuff. They ain't gonna be wearing they ain't gonna be trying to look like they going to no funeral. That's over with. Okay. And if you in the clothes, you want to make some money, you better get on that. You better start making bigger size, sexy clothes for the sisters, because sometimes they get older, they just a little bigger. She still want to be sexy though. She want to look cute. That's gonna be the future. Remember, I told you. The future gonna be all different type of clothes. He might have a suit on today. He might have a jogging suit on tomorrow. That's what the future gonna be. It ain't gonna be no one way to dress. That's gonna be out of here. It's gonna be free expression. And the older generation is gonna be trying to eat better. They're gonna be trying to exercise, and they're gonna be trying to dress. They ain't gonna want to dress like they finna get in no coffin. They gonna want to look younger. They gonna want to. They don't want to be. They ain't gonna want to be stereotyped like that. I remember my mother would get my grandmother some clothes. And she would give my grandmother one dress, and my grandmother put it on and say it's nice. But there would be a certain dress my mama give my grandmama, and she'd just be pulling it and looking in it. And I know that's the one, the sexy one. I could tell how Granny would be moving. It's that one dress. Granny liked that one. And Granny liked that dress right there. Now the other one she liked too, but this one, she thinks she cuted. She be in there pulling it, and all them dresses like that fit my granny a little more tighter. My granny was a kind of thick woman, but I remember the dresses that she would model around in and strut a little more in was the ones that showed her curves. She liked them all, but not like them ones that looked a little hotter. She's still a woman. I tell you something. I tell you something too, ladies. Buy your man some more clothes that make him so he dressed, so he ain't dressed so old. Dress him up. He ain't gotta be looking like great, 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 great granddaddy. You think I'm lying? Y'all think I'm lying? When Father's Day come up, your grandfather, your daddy, go get him a hat like this and put their name on it. I bet he wear it every goddamn day. Go get him a shirt and embroider his name on it. I bet he wear that shirt out. Cause ain't nobody. If you black, you black. We don't grow out of style. I ain't never known black people to grow and don't do style. Boy, we don't do that. We do style to the world blow up. So I like the way Jim Jones be. I like the way he be dressing. What a lot of people don't understand is Jim Jones is in the fashion industry and he make a lot of money with fashion. They don't understand. Jim Jones is a fashion icon. Watch how he blow in the next 10 years. Watch, that's gonna be the thing. Watch, you're gonna see all these men. They're gonna have gray, and they're gonna be dressed. They're not gonna be dressed to match the way they look. The men gonna look older, and the clothes gonna look younger. That's gonna be the thing. Cause ain't nobody trying to go lay in no graveyard. That shit over. Ain't nobody doing that. Oh, I'm old. Let me go put on some old ass clothes and just wait till my funeral. Man, ain't nobody doing that. That's over with. Ain't nobody doing that. Everybody want to live their best life the whole time. Granddaddy want the cold sneakers too. Why y'all don't buy granddaddy the best looking sneakers just like you bought your son? Get granddaddy some cold looking sneakers. Get him some nice sneakers. Get him the nice one the kids got. I bet he wear them. He gonna wear them out. Why you gotta have all some sneakers look like nursing shoes? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, he ain't dead yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about age limits, man. That's kind of weird. Now, sometimes they got stuff they wear. It might not be your style, but if it's your style, I say wear it. Because this even stuff for mature older men that I don't necessarily like it just because it's for mature older men. I just don't go in the suit places sell suits and like every suit. I don't be liking every suit in there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, y'all listen to me. Act younger, not on purpose, just naturally. I'm telling you, listen to the young stuff coming up. Listen to that. Watch the young people. Check them out on social media. It's healthy. It helps reverse your aging. I watch everything they do. It's healthy. It's better for your mind. It really is. The future watch. I'm saying the future podcast. Gonna be some real old people and some real young people. They're gonna have the number one podcast. Watch. People say, man, Pharaoh said that 3 years ago. Watch. Watch. It's gonna go up. It's gonna go up. Put all the generations on there. You know what I'm saying? What is this? We ain't got no damn barriers like that. Not like that. I don't feel we got to act no certain type of way. And the YN thing, I think they misusing that. You know what I'm saying? Because they make it, they put stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? On the YNs. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that a lot of them YNs got substance abuse problems. Why we acting crazy? It ain't got nothing to do with their age. It's got something to do with the type of substances they have. And like when you come up and different substances come out, it caused a problem for your generation. Like when the angel dust came out. Remember that particular group that came? It messed them up. So the YNs went through the same thing with the opioids and the stuff they got. They ain't intentionally messed up. They just happened to come at a time when the worst substances came out. That's all. They'll change. They'll change, but I don't like the idea where this YN and you need to be looking mature. Let me tell you something. All you need to be looking is what you like. When you go in the store, you like, I like that shirt, I like them pants, that hat. That's the end of it. Don't let nobody tell you who it belonged to. That just sounds crazy to me. If I go in the store and I see something I like, what is you saying? If I like it, I like it. I'm finna buy it. I'm finna wear it. I'm wearing it because I like it. And you're like, oh, you trying to look like a YN. Man, shut up. You sound crazy. You sound crazy. And then I'm into fashion. I used to model and all that. So I be liking clothes. I be liking certain things. And if it's something I see I like, I'm getting it. If I like it, if I don't like it, I'm not gonna get it. But I'm not I can't see myself out here watching young people and trying to act like young people. But I'm black, I'm keeping black culture. And black culture, we on top of everything. I don't know nothing about getting no old. Ain't no such thing getting old with black culture. If we get out here and y'all saying FAFO, then we gonna all say that. What, I'll be too old to say F around and find out? No, I'm not. That's black culture. When that get to popping, we all say it. That's not black culture. Soon as we get out here and they say F around and find out. Tell me every black person from grade school to 90 ain't finna say that. That ain't black culture. Soon as granddaddy hear that, granddaddy not finna say F around and find out. Granddaddy, great granddaddy gonna say that if he alive. Y'all know that. Y'all know black culture. Everybody gonna say that. You can't, we don't do no age. Well, we not doing no age with something that's popping. When it's popping, we all take it. And that one everybody gonna say. F around and find out. That's gonna be here all through next summer. That ain't going nowhere. No, every age group is gonna say that. So don't be listening to great granddaddy said that to my he try to act like a YN. No, he not. That's black culture. When the Afro came out, the kids got it, and then everybody got it. Granddaddy got it, great granddaddy, daddy, everybody got the Afro. The hot pants came out for the young girls. My mama went and got some. Straight up. She ain't care nothing about being no mama. She wants some hot pants. She sure went and got them. We don't do age in the black community. That's some new stuff they coming up with. We don't do that. That ain't no black culture. Oh, you too old. We don't do too old. I don't know who taught y'all that. Man, we don't do too old. We got certain black people, they finna cling to it just because it's new. We like being up on what's happening. I know when I was growing up, that's how the black men used to be. We kids, we used to make up something at school. As soon as the winos found out about it, the winos would take that saying and run it in the ground. I'm telling y'all, real black history. Wait, hey man, black people very unique and make up some great stuff. And everybody on it once they make it up. It go all the way down to kindergarten in the black community. If something hot happened, it go all the way from the 70, 80 years old down to the kindergartners. Everybody say it. Everybody do it. And everybody act the way they want to act. Some people is just mild-mannered. It's just always been like that. My daddy had a bunch of brothers, and we had the Uncle Oscar was reserved, and Uncle Sidney was out there. You couldn't say Uncle Sidney was trying to act young. Uncle Sidney was Uncle Sidney, man. Uncle Oscar was reserved. Uncle Sidney was Uncle Sidney. He wasn't trying to act like nobody. He just liked different stuff. When I was growing up, our parents used to want to hear all our new slang. Whatever we saying, they want to know what it is. And the only reason they didn't use it a lot, because they had to be at work, so they couldn't. And that's the moral of this. The only difference is you might got to work all the time and you don't get to act a certain type of way because you work at a job in a certain way. You might be a nurse or a doctor. You might work. So you're a certain type of way. And that's the only reason you ain't that. So when you see the other brothers and sisters that's doing that, don't judge them. The only reason you're not doing it because your profession or what you're doing so much has shaped your character. They might not got that character. Leave them alone. That's the only difference. I hope y'all learn from this. Check out what I'm saying. Go watch it from the beginning. You'll understand what I'm saying. Sometimes you work jobs. You got certain occupations that make you be in a certain mode. And then you become a professional. Maybe you're a doctor, you're a nurse. So you try to keep your children in that same mode so they can grow up and be professionals. That makes sense. You want your children to grow up and be professionals. You want your children to grow up to be doctors and nurses. That makes sense. But at the same time, once you're a doctor, once you're a nurse, once your children are doctor, nurse, you don't go to comedy shows. You don't go see Mike Epps. So everybody can't be a doctor or a nurse. How you going to have entertainment? You ain't got no Cat Williams. You ain't got somebody got to be loose. Or you ain't got no entertainment. You ain't got no music. You ain't got no movies. If everybody is a doctor and everybody's trying to act like a doctor or a nurse. Variety is the spice of life. And when you come over here, I ain't trying to act like no YN. Go study. I don't know what YNs is saying. I would have to be around them. I'm in the music business. It would take me months to emulate YNs. That's how far these young kids is ahead. There's no way I could tell you what they saying. Right now, on the west side, south side of Chicago, they just made up some words within the last 3 weeks, but they ain't popped yet. I remember being in the studio, and they was like, bust down, bust down, bust down. And they did a song, and they said, derbs. I'm like, what the hell's a derb? A derb was the new word for bust down. What the hell? You can't keep up with them. Trust me, I'm in the music business. It ain't no way I can act like no YN. They light years ahead of me. If I was to go right now and hang out with about 10 YNs, I would know I wouldn't know what they saying a lot of the time. I had to ask them, what is that? What is that? That's not nothing you could just emulate. I'm giving y'all game. You don't let nobody, man, you cannot just emulate them. They is really making stuff up fast. You would have to be around them a long time to know their culture and what they saying. It is no way I can emulate a YN. Impossible. I'm not around them. This is not YN. When you watch me, I am. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, he tried like a YN. No. Anybody tell you that is not outside. Because whatever the YN's saying, ain't no way I know it. Impossible. That's how fast that culture's going. So when I go in the studio with them, it's like going to school. I don't know nothing they saying. It's hard to executive produce their record because they rhyme and say words. I don't know what the word means. So when they play it back, I'm like, what is that? Because I want to make sure the rhyme makes some sense. And they all know what it is, and I'm the only one don't. Right now, they got a whole bunch of words. I don't know what they say. Right now, I guarantee you. It's impossible to emulate YNs. You have to be around them. That's it. The first person they hear the new words is their mama and they people in the house where they saying it at. Ain't no emulating that. You have to really be around them to know their culture. They making up stuff fast. And it's regional too. What they saying in New Orleans, Chicago don't know yet. What they saying in LA, New Orleans don't know yet. Even the YNs don't know what the different YNs is making up regionally. And then it'll blow up in New Orleans and it'll simmer down, and this will blow up in LA and it'll simmer down, and this term will blow up in Chicago. But every now and then they might say something in New Orleans and it blow up and the whole nation say it. So you never know what they saying is going to blow up and what's not. Some of it just stay local. So you can't, I'm just trying to think. I don't know how I would emulate a YN. That's my point. It would be impossible. I would have to like go around them. I don't know what show they never be saying. They do not talk like this though. Young black men in Chicago that's in the gangs and in the streets, I don't talk nothing like them. I just want to make sure that when you hear people say, I'm trying to be a YN, I want you to be intelligent. I don't know nothing what they say. I can tell you that. I know that for sure that I don't know what they say. That's how advanced they are. Sometimes when I'm watching the rappers talk, I don't be knowing what they saying. The young ones, I don't be knowing what they saying. I got to go find out what the word is. I remember when FYBJ Main was on the cutting edge. He ain't on the cutting edge no more. Because he done made money. He ain't on the block like that no more. He don't know what they saying. But it ain't nothing that nobody could, like, oh, I want to try to be like the YN. That sound crazy. Impossible. Because their culture is a lot in that. And you got to be there. And it's different. South side, the west side, there ain't nothing alike. That's why the good rapper, he know what they said on the west side. He know what they said on the south side. When he make the new song, he put it in there. This how these rappers get hot. When you hear the new slang, you run and make your record quick before it catch on. So now when it catch on, you already said it. That's how the gang go. You to be a really good rapper, you gotta have your ear to the street. And then when they start saying stuff, you gotta try to get it in the record fast. Real talk. But no, I am not trying to be no YN. This is just how I am. But this stuff I'm saying is, oh, hey, man, these young people in Chicago will laugh at y'all if y'all told them I'm trying to be a YN. They'll be like, no, the hell he ain't with his old legs. I'm like, why y'all try? I got brother they can't be from Chicago talking about I'm trying to be like the YNs because the YNs would reject that deposit. They'd be like, no, we not. Pops ain't, no, Pops ain't that. Pops, it ain't hitting. Pops ain't hitting like that. They would never claim me. Boy, these kids wouldn't claim me. Talking about I'm trying to be like the YNs. Did anybody tell the YNs? I wish somebody call the YNs and tell them Pharaoh is trying to be like them because they sure don't know. They sure don't know I'm trying to be like them because, boy, I don't be knowing what they saying. I don't know what they be saying. That's how fast they be making up words and be talking. I don't know what that shit is. They really own something. They really be making up stuff. It's just interesting. What I'm interested in, and I'm gonna let this go, is the music. I'm trying to see where the women finna go. Because the women going extra sleazy, extra nasty, which is good. You know, they don't like the sexy reds and all that. I need to do a whole live about that. Man, leave them kids alone, man. Leave them alone. Stop trying to make them be the righteousness of the community and all that. That ain't never gonna go nowhere. It's over. They're gonna do the music they're gonna do. It ain't nothing you could do about it. And it's been like that. And you people in y'all 30s and 40s, don't let these people fool you. Black music is doing the same thing. It's always been like this. They trying to make you think it been different. No. All that music that they telling you was better back in the day, they looked at that music the same way you looked at this music. All that hip hop that you said is so great, Herbie Hancock and them said it was trash. And then some of them said change their mind and came and work with the youth. Didn't nobody like that. Didn't nobody like Kara. Them old school R&B, they ain't like that stuff. It's always been the past generation don't like the young generation. Always. Always. Stop wishing for some other kind of music and take what you're going to get. Especially positive music. How you going to get positive music when ain't nobody positive? Where you going to get it from? Where you going to get positive music from? And who the hell want to hear that? Nobody want to hear no damn positive music. You can't sell positive music until you got a positive group of people born. You can't just sell it. You have to have the right audience. And this ain't no positive audience no more. Not right now. They probably coming though. They might be 3 years old. The positive ones want to hear, they might be 7 or 3. They here, but you never know what age they are. You don't know which ones is the ones want to go back to they ain't gonna come, but you just never know because the music got to go around in cycles. It's got to go in cycles. And you're never going to have positive music in a negative environment. And nobody want to talk about that. You only had positive music because we had a positive environment. The positive music did not make things positive. The positive environment made the music positive. They trying to act like the music can make things positive. No, the positive things make the music positive. It's the other way around. The positive music is made by the positive people, not the other way around. You cannot make no music to change these people. The people got to change the music. You can't do it. It's impossible. It never happened and it never will happen. You have to have that one generation that's with that, and then they make the music. Didn't no music make KRS-One and Public Enemy. KRS-One and Public Enemy made the music. And they try to make you think that we need to make some positive music to change the youth. The youth is the ones making the music you hearing. So how positive music gonna change youth that like negative music? You sound stupid. Now you make no sense. That don't make no sense. All this stuff got to happen organically. It always do. It happens on its own. Always remember that. That the type of generation you want, you don't never make them. They be born like that. Nobody made me. I was born on this. That's just how it is. They're going to be born like that. Ain't no music going to make them. It come from birth. I'm telling you. And once they born like that, you can't sell them nothing negative if you want to. They ain't buying it. But they're going to go positive on their own. It always happens. It's in cycles. It's in cycles. A lot of brothers, they want positive music with no positive infrastructure. You ain't got no positive infrastructure. The hell you going to do with positive music? To who? Who the hell want to hear that shit? I don't. I don't want to hear nobody talking a whole bunch of positive nonsense that don't exist nowhere. It just sounds like you just saying something just to say it. You don't even have the environment to fit the music. You got to have the environment to fit the music. And the environment is the certain people that's born at a certain time. You need a certain people born at a certain time. Just like Christ, Moses, they came when it was time for them to come. They ain't coming no earlier and they ain't coming no later. It's the same thing. You got to wait till that one group come. They're going to do it on their own. Ain't nobody going to make it happen. It's going to happen organically. You never know what these babies going to be on. You just got to go for the ride. You got to go for the ride. And the system ain't doing nothing. The system can't make no music get hot. Y'all believe that? Man, they can't make nothing do nothing. All that is a conspiracy. Man, ain't no conspiracy. They cannot make no music catch on and do nothing. All that stuff happen organically. All that the system had a meeting and decided they wanted to push negative music. Okay, and the system got together and Snoop was just born at the right time. That Snoop was that Snoop. This Snoop ain't even that Snoop, which proves my point. You get only one Snoop Doggy Dogg at that time who was a phenom then. And what's the odds you're going to have Snoop Dogg, you're going to have Dr. Dre, DJ Quick, what's the Ice Cube, and all them at around the same time? That's a higher power that make that happen. And can't no lower power stop that like that if that's going to happen. Can't nobody stop that from happening if it's going to happen. Can't nobody stop it from happening. Can't no, the system did it so they could put people in prison. That's nonsense. That's all make believe. That's conspiracy nonsense. That's nonsense. Everything they telling you about the substances and all that is all make believe lies. People made movies and shit, didn't know what the hell they was talking about. All this stuff be organic and happen naturally. You living in a world that work on this own and move on this own. And you just gotta roll with the punches. Ain't nobody can make nothing happen. The evil people cannot make nothing evil pop off. Everything got to come according to the time. It's got its own power to do what it's going to do at a certain time. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can start it. That's a fact. That's why when something new happens, it'd be like somebody just turned the page on the book. All of a sudden, everything different. You're like, what the hell? It just be like, boop. That's how fast we'll be sitting here, and then boop, you look up and it'll be some new something, and it'll just sweep. And you can't stop it, whatever it is. You can't stop it. You definitely can't stop positivity. I don't even know why people worry about that. You can't stop positivity. Look how the murder rate in Chicago all the way down, boom, to nothing. The lowest in 10 years, out of nowhere. Because certain babies going to come and they just ain't going to do it. Certain babies going to come, they like my group, we like, man, I ain't gangbang doing all that. All you got to do is take care of yourself, eat right, and don't poison yourself. That's it. Don't worry about nobody else. Take care of yourself and don't poison yourself. Don't you make yourself be the victim. And raise your children and talk to your children and keep your children in the house. And when your children go outside, they got to go outside in the yard or they got to go outside and play with children that you done vetted already. They can't just be outside with woo woo boo boo and all that. You got to be a good parent. When you get out of school, come home first. Change your clothes, drop your books off so that we can find out where you leave. Don't be letting them get out of school and just roam around out here. Because it's going to be a whole bunch of changes, so hang on to your seat. You young generation, get ready. Get ready. And I'm going to let y'all go on. The last thing I'm going to say is start getting on this social media talking. I don't care if you're uncomfortable or not. Push record and just start talking. You'll get good. Enough of y'all ain't talking. If you don't want to be seen, just have a picture there and just talk. But y'all need to be talking on this social media. I'm telling you, turn on your thing and talk. If you don't want nobody to see you, get on there and express your views and talk on this social media. It's going to be the best thing you could have did for you and for your people and for your children. Get on here and talk while we can before they take this away from us. Straight like that. Deuces.